Well, guys, we got a flamethrower. I mean, there's not much else to say. We got a motherfucking flamethrower. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. It also looks cool, too. It's all futuristic-like. Almost like a Terminator movie or something. Anyway, let's take a look at the stats. It has a magazine of 150, total ammo of 750, and that's because I have fully loaded, so it gives me more starting ammo. Rate of fire of 2,000, which is pretty insane. Damage of 15, accuracy of 0, stability of 0, concealment of 7, and a threat of 37. Now, there are only two different mods that you can have for this weapon. One increases the damage, but decreases your total ammo pool. And the other one is the opposite. It decreases your damage, but adds to your total ammo. So, if we actually take a look at it, the two mods are called Rare and Well Done. For today, I'm going to be using Well Done. It's probably the way to go for higher difficulties. You need that little extra damage push, and you're not going to be worrying too much about the ammo. So, I mean, just taking a look at the stats on this gun, it doesn't really say a lot about it. You know, 0 accuracy, 0 stability, but, you know, what does that mean on a flamethrower? I mean, a flamethrower is close range, and you're not actually going to be able to hit stuff very far away. The stability, though it does say 0, doesn't mean a thing, because the flamethrower has no recoil. And it does seem to do fairly low damage, but it has a really high rate of fire. You just really can't treat it like other assault rifles or other guns, because they shoot bullets and they have headshot multipliers, stuff like that. It's fire-based, you know, it's different mechanics, and it's meant to be treated that way, I think. I don't think you're supposed to treat this quite like other weapons. It has its own niche, and you have to find out where you can use it. You know, it's not just an all-around versatile weapon that you can use in any situation. No, it's got some pretty specific uses. You can flame specials so that they can't use their special ability. It's good for mob control, stuff like that. Pretty much, my recommendation is just to give it a try. You know, if you just look at the stats, you won't get much from it. Anyway, let's take a look at the build I'll be using today. Of course, as you can already see, I have armor on. A lot of Enforcer. So I've got Combat Medic and Endurance and Mastermind. Pretty much I didn't have anything else to spend points on, so I just put some random points there. Here's where things are a little bit more interesting. I have Overkill, Shotgun CQB, and Shotgun Impact. This is so I can have a good secondary, because the Flamethrower definitely needs to rely heavily on a good secondary. I have Iron Man Aced, Fully Loaded Aced, Ammo Specialist Aced, and Berserker Aced. Now, Berserker Ace is to get an extra push of damage on Death Wish when you're on low health. That's going to be very, very nice for the Flamethrower because it feels a little weak, but on Death Wish, you need to have something that can take care of cops faster. So that extra push of damage is going to be very helpful. Iron Man Ace. I wanted to be able to run and gun. Since this is a Flamethrower, the range is incredibly short, meaning I have to close the distance between me and the cop to be able to be effective, and being able to sprint there makes it nicer. Fully Loaded, basic. Only the basic version of Fully Loaded works with the Flamethrower because it's like a minigun. It can't pick up ammo off the ground. But I did bother picking up the Ace version just so my secondary never runs out of ammo. And of course, Ammo Specialist, so I can just feed off of ammo bags for days, because that's the only way to replenish Flamethrower fuel. And I've got Stun Resistance, Underdog, Die Hard, Pump and Iron, Transporter, just pretty much skills to get up to the higher tier ones. No Technician. I actually tried doing a Tech Forcer build, and while I was a little bit tankier, I found another skill that was actually a lot more helpful than Bulletproof. And that is Swan Song. Because with Swan Song, it gives you unlimited ammo and you can shoot for 9 seconds. With a Flamethrower, that just does crazy damage if you hold the trigger down. So, I opted to pick up this. Unfortunately, in Fugitive, this is a tree heavily revolved around mobility and dodge, so these skills getting up to it were pretty much just filler skills. Like, there's no reason for me to be picking up like Hidden Blade or Duck and Cover, Daredevil. In fact, there's no reason for me to pick up any of these except for Running Gun Basic, which is just for movement speed. So yeah, you can pretty much just ignore that. I just wanted Swan Song. And then, of course, in my Ghost, I've got even more mobility stuff. Shinobi, Fast Hands, Sprinter, I do also have Cat Burglar and Cleaner. I think Cleaner's 5% damage against special enemies is going to be helpful for Flamethrowers because, like I said, Flamethrowers, they work differently. They don't have headshot damage bonuses, so getting that extra bit of damage on the Flamethrower, especially for specials too, since Flame doesn't seem to... well, specials actually have a lot more health than regular units, so giving that extra bit of damage to the Flamethrower is going to be very nice. And, oh yeah, perk deck. I think the intention was to use the Sociopath perk deck, but for the video itself, I accidentally left it on Crook or something useless, so you can almost treat it as if I didn't have a perk deck. But I think the Sociopath and the Infiltrator perk decks are very nice perk decks when it comes to flame weapons, and you'll see why later. Anyway, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so this Flamethrower is an immensely interesting weapon because it shares a lot of the same properties that the minigun has, but because of its flame properties, it actually makes it very unique. So we'll talk a little bit about the differences of that. I showed you my setup earlier, so I have Iron Man, got Berserker, and a whole bunch of shoddy skills so I can have a very reliable secondary, and I brought the Judge. I've also brought the Poker as well. I've noticed that flame setups usually pair really well with melee setups as well. Like, you'll flame a guy with either Dragon's Breath or the Flamethrower. They usually won't die, and then you finish them off with a melee kill. So, it actually opens up some different options in that sense. But I really won't go too much into that yet. I gotta play around with that a little bit more. Anyway, let's talk about the Flamethrower. On Death Wish, I definitely recommend bringing the Flamethrower that's spec for extra damage because, well, you may have a lot more ammo with the other ammo types, but it just feels really weak. And this is a relatively weak feeling gun overall. Like, it's not like the minigun where it actually feels somewhat strong. This one, it's a little weak, very short range, and like I said, it shares a lot of the same characteristics as the minigun, so it doesn't have very much range. It has a really high rate of fire, which makes it nice for things like Swan Song and just overall mob control. And what else? It also doesn't have any ammo pickup at all, so you have to rely solely on ammo bags. You can see it work right now. All the fire! It's good. It's very good. So I opted for an armor setup because, well, with the Flamethrower, you tend to be out in the open a lot, flaming people, and it does take a while to kill, so having an armor setup is pretty nice. It lets you stay in the fight a little bit longer, whereas dodge, you know, as soon as you take damage, you gotta go run and hide. Ooh, getting shot from up here. So like I said, this weapon does feel a little weak, and to combat that, I've spec'd it for pure damage with the ammo type, and I've also picked up Berserker, so if I get low enough health, I'll actually be doing a lot more damage with the Flamethrower. And on Death Wish, it's actually really nice with this setup. You know, in Overkill, you don't need that extra damage, and it'll work just fine if you just use the Flamethrower, but with Berserker on Death Wish, you'll be shredding stuff a lot quicker, and that is a very, very nice thing to have. Because unlike the minigun, this weapon, you do need to reload it. It has 150, well, fuel, I guess, in a magazine, and you do have to reload quite often because with that insane rate of fire, you're gonna burn through really fast. So that is the biggest downside of the Flamethrower. It's just that you have to reload very often. Oh my god! I got kicked. Ah! So the reason why I think this weapon is interesting is because, well, the flame mechanics make it so that cops and specials will not actually be able to attack you when you have them on fire. You know, if you're currently flaming a cloaker, he won't kick you. You know, that time he did. He just kind of insta-kicked me, but there's nothing really I could do about that. If you're flaming a taser, he will not be able to tase you. And if you're flaming a bulldozer, he will actually not shoot. He'll just stand there and take it. So the flame in this game is very interesting because it acts almost like a debuff, where the special enemies will not actually be able to use their special ability. You know, except for the cloaker that just kicked me. Just a little weird. And as you can see right there, when we flame the dozer, it just stands there and takes it. And it doesn't shoot out, which makes them easy picking for your teammates. So in the sense, it's almost like explosive rounds, but not for stun. You know, you don't just shoot out and run away. You have to actively shoot them. See, as you can see, as long as I keep on flaming him, he usually won't run. So in that sense, I think this is a very unusual and unique support weapon. But like I said, you do have to reload a lot, so this reload is really bad. As you can see, I have to sit in cover for a good while just to reload this bad boy. So you have to use it pretty wisely. Oh, and one other thing that I've noted about the Flamethrower is that it is incredibly bad against dozers. Although you are able to stun them, in a sense, it doesn't do a lot of damage, and you're just sitting there using a lot of your ammo. So I would actually recommend against using it against bulldozers as much as possible, just to keep them from damaging your teammates and such. Oh, there's the turret. I should stay crouched. I'm gonna drop an ammo bag somewhere. Ooh. Yeah, normally I wouldn't play like this, you know, just use my primary solely, but I'm just showing off the Flamethrower, so trying not to use the Judge as much as I can. But this is definitely a weapon that you treat like the minigun, where you only use it for certain situations, and you wouldn't normally use it for everything. I gotta run away, because he will shoot my ass. Yeah, having a good melee is very nice. Like I said, you can flame someone, they'll do the wiggle dance, they won't be able to shoot you. And then you can finish them up with a melee. Not a dozer, though. I would not recommend doing that to a dozer. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Another thing that this makes a lot more interesting than the minigun is that while the minigun can't shoot through shields, you know, they just stand in your way and you have to go around them like usual, Flame actually engulfs the shield and will outright kill it. And since shields don't actually have that much health, even on Death Wish, it makes quick work of them. So this weapon is perfect for mobs. So when you get swarmed by enemies, just spray fire, shake your mouse a little bit, do the zombie flick, and you'll kill pretty much anything in your way. And on the plus side, like I said, it deals with specials in a very unique way too. So it won't be able to actually, you know, use their special ability on you. So when you are constantly flaming like that, it pretty much is just a wall of no pain. Just cops will not be able to shoot through, and specials will not be able to tase you or cloak you. And it's a very unique mechanic. I really enjoy this. You know, outright, it's not that amazing. It doesn't do that much damage, and it takes a while to kill things, but the applications of it, it's just very, very, very cool, I think. I'm really glad Overkill added something like this. We haven't had anything quite like this, because the closest thing we've had is explosives, where they stun enemies. But, you know, that's all. It just kind of stuns people. This is so much more unique. Yeah, that reload, though, is really bad. Which is why I think Swan Song for this is a really great skill, because when you go down, you will be able to just unload. Like, you don't have to worry about this reloading. You can just keep on going, and whatever that probably killed you is no longer alive. Except for a dozer. That's the only thing that can survive your relentless onslaughts when you do have constant flame going about. And yeah, see, having a good secondary is almost a must, because you run out of ammo a little too fast. So you have to play incredibly smart with the Flamethrower. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. reload this bad boy. So yeah, while the minigun was very fun and all, it was pretty much just like an LMG. You know, you can't really aim all that well. Has some pretty short range, decent damage, a lot of ammo, decent rate of fire. Actually, a really good rate of fire. But this weapon is just all kinds of like, what the hell? Don't know what Overkill was thinking, but goddamn, they were thinking. And I think they did this right. Oh shit. A lot of people are generally worried that with new DLC, they make this game pay to win. This is definitely nothing near that style. Ah, see? If I can get the flame on him, he'll stop tasing me, but he's a little bit out of range. So, yeah, this thing, unlike the minigun, has really bad range. Like, not even like shotgun range. It is terrible. I think I just died to fall damage, too. I think I did die to fall damage. Or else I would have proc Swan Song. Oh, sniped. It's a shame. The one time I proc Swan Song, there's nothing for me to actually shoot. I even have Iron Man aced, so that when I do proc Swan Song, I can run around and sprint and shoot. Didn't quite turn out that way. I can see they were busy with that turret. Alright. That is a black dozer. Eh. Yeah. I'm just gonna stun them for now and make sure they don't get any closer. Because the Molotovs work in the same way that the Flamethrower does, where the flame just kinda, it just stops them from moving, stops them from shooting, and overall they don't do much, which is great. Although, I'll talk about that a little later. I'll talk about the Molotovs and the incendiary rounds for the grenade launchers and such. Because those themselves have very interesting mechanics. While this doesn't persist on the ground, those do, and a lot of people. Oh, the animations for these are glorious. The way they writhe on the ground. This is a pyromaniac stream right here. I'm not even a pyromaniac myself. I don't care too much for flame weapons, but this is so fun. I will say, though, with the Flamethrower, it is a little bit difficult to know when the enemies are dead. Like, sometimes you'll flame them, and they'll catch on fire, and try to stop, drop, and roll. But sometimes they actually live. So, it's a little bit hard to discern whether or not something is dead. Yeah, having a nice, strong melee with the Flamethrower is beautiful. I am definitely gonna have a lot of, well, this Flamethrower offers a lot of replayability because I'm gonna try different setups with it. And something that we haven't done before, which is melee setups. You know, most melee setups are pretty bad, to be honest. You know, there's no real reason to actually use them. But this one might actually prove to be, somewhat useful. Look at them wiggling. Having Berserker is incredibly nice on Death Wish. When I didn't have Berserker, it just felt like it took too long to kill things. So I definitely recommend, if you do use a Flamethrower setup, to try to pick up that skill. Of course, pick up Berserker Ace, because the melee portion of it doesn't matter so much, but like I said, if you decide to go with a melee build, it actually might be nice. As right now. Oh, I get sniped. Yeah. So you didn't really get to see the full potential of a Swan Song Flamethrower combination, because every time I've died so far, I haven't really been in a position to, well, utilize it. And he's having a heyday trying to kill that SWAT van turret. So while he does that, I will move bags. Cloaker. Can you, like, not? You see what I mean? As long as you're actively flaming the cloaker, he won't actually be shooting at you. So, I don't know. The other time when he insta-jumped me, probably just a fluke. And the animations. Oh, God, the animations for this flamethrower. It is a painfully long reload, but it is a very nice reload to look at. I don't mind looking at it. It's good. Same with the animations for the cops when they're on fire. They did a lot of things right with this DLC. I enjoy it. Ooh. Are we gonna go trade for him? Yes, we are. Leave nobody behind. I don't know where the civs are. You didn't stand a chance. He might not make it out. Yeah, he's not making it out. Alright, well, we're just leaving then. Alrighty. So I initially actually thought this weapon to be near useless on Deathwish because just using on overkill, it felt weak, you know? Like I was using so much ammo and so much time just spent on trying to kill people. But my initial thoughts were actually completely wrong. With the right setup, it does a lot of work on Deathwish, and you can play a very interesting support role or just a outright, you know, kill whore support role where you just kill a lot of things with a flamethrower. You just have to make sure that when you're reloading, your teammates back you up. Very, very awesome weapon. Damn, that's a lot of 100s. Haven't seen a lot of 100s in a while. Infamy and all. Hey! Hoxton Reborn. Hold on.